Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your Chelsea news video on this Tuesday morning. I hope you guys are all doing good. And I think today is going to be the day that we get a here we go. And I think we are going to get a here we go today for Jorrel Hato. We're going to talk about Hato first of all. There was an update last night about 12:30 midnight from Fabrizio. Whether it's actually an update or not remains to be seen, but I want to break down the conversation about Jorrel Hato. I'm going to give the latest on Xavi Simons with Alejandro Garnacho, and then we're going to talk a little bit more later in this video about Nicholas Jackson and other outgoings. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to GBFC and smack that like button if you do enjoy these morning news videos. So, Fabrizio Romano, late last night, said this: Chelsea and Ajax have progressed in talks for Jorrel Hato on Monday. Deal at the final stages. Hato ready to sign a long-term deal at Chelsea, with the two clubs close to full agreement. And then the timer and the soon emoji. This is looking like very good news. And since the news dropped on, I think it was the 23rd of July, so 6 days ago from this time now, that is when Fabrizio first started talking about this. And obviously, a lot of other people have reported Chelsea's interest in Jorrel Hato even before we saw Fabrizio talk about it. So I'm not saying Fabrizio is the first one, but it is a story that over the course of the last 5 days, this one has never kind of meandered off the path. Chelsea wanted Hato. Immediately, Hato says to Ajax, I want to go to Chelsea. He's not interested in any other clubs and he is waiting for Chelsea. Ajax have had pre-season friendlies. Hato's not even been in the squad. So from minute number one of this whole transfer ordeal, saga, story, whatever you want to frame it as, this has always looked like a very likely transfer to happen. Now, the price point is going to be, I think, what might surprise us here, because what I want to know is, over the course of the last 5 days, where have the negotiations gone? We heard about Samuel-Smith, who is a Chelsea development squad left back that Ajax are interested in. We heard about him going there. That all went a little bit quiet. Are Chelsea saying no to Samuel-Smith leaving? Or is it Ajax saying, well, that's a separate deal. We want this for Hato. That's what he's worth. Pay up or what we're going to do. The fact that Hato's wanted this move, I, for one, am absolutely buzzing. I always want to see it when a player sees or hears that Chelsea want to sign them and it's concrete and it isn't just gossip. When the player goes into that kind of, well, I'm going there mode, then it's all up to Chelsea and Ajax, and I absolutely love it. I think Hato's going to be a fantastic signing for Chelsea. And let's take a little look now at this article in The Telegraph. This is Matt Law's article talking about Jorrel Hato and why Chelsea are signing the Ajax teenager. Dutch defender would allow more rotation with Marc Cucurella, who played more minutes than any other outfield player at the club last season. And when I show you guys this, it's actually mad, because some of the players that are near the top of this list in terms of games and minutes played last season, I wasn't expecting to see it. But let's go and take a little look at the article. Chelsea believe prospective new signing Hato can ease some of the burden on Marc Cucurella as the club aim to close a deal for the Ajax defender for around 35 million. Hato, 19, can play in a range of defensive positions, including centre-back, but Telegraph Sport understands Chelsea predominantly view him as providing depth and competition at left-back. This is obviously the main thing that we have spoken about at great length here on GBFC regarding why Jorrel Hato is going to become a very useful signing for Chelsea. Enzo Maresca right now has got so many players that can play in so many different roles. So options next season are going to be aplenty. Cucurella played more minutes than any Chelsea outfield player last season, including the Club World Cup, making 54 appearances in total, 4 more than midfielder Moises Caicedo. So if we take a little look here, these are the player minutes and games played last season for Chelsea, including the Club World Cup. Marc Cucurella is number 1, Caicedo, then Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, Colwill, Neto, Tosin and Gusto, actually very high up on this list. I was not expecting those guys to be there. Tosin being the 5th, 6th, 7th? Wait, I can't count. Yeah, 7th most minutes played player last season, Tosin. Thought he was only playing in the Conference League, mate, but there you go. So let's go and take another little look here towards the bottom. The signing of Hato is being made very much with that in mind. in terms of Cucurella, with left back one of the very few areas in which Chelsea saw themselves as being light on numbers and quality. I'm happy that we're kind of getting rid of that idea this summer that because Gusto can play left back or Reece James can play left back, that is not strength in depth. What we're seeing here is Chelsea answering the problems. The fact that Hato can also play on the left side of central defence may also be good news for Levi Colwill, who was 5th on the list of outfield players who played the most minutes last season. But it is Cucurella who will likely see most of the benefit. Chelsea and Jorrel Hato, I feel as though we are going to get a here we go of some sorts today. Maybe it's both. Maybe Chelsea have heard everybody saying, wouldn't it be great if we announced 2 Dutch players at once, both Jorrel Hato and Xavi Simons? Maybe that happens, but I think the Xavi Simons deal, there might be a little bit more still to do on Chelsea's side. But Hato to Chelsea, I feel as though today is the day. Let's move now into story number 2. Fabrizio Romano is doing a show with The Zone this summer. So we've not only got to look for Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, X, his YouTube channel, like everything. We've literally got to look everywhere for Chelsea updates. And the Garnacho story, I want to talk at length here about Garnacho a bit because I need to just kind of put something to bed on Alejandro Garnacho. But this is the latest from Fab. Chelsea want both Garnacho and Simons. There is a concrete possibility that Chelsea sign both. For Garnacho, it is something for later in the window. Ben Jacobs also said Chelsea could bid for Alejandro Garnacho in addition to Xavi Simons, as reported on TalkSport last week. Another left wing possible, even after Gittins, due to Quenda arriving in 2026. Mudryk unavailable, Sancho returning to Man United, and a chance George is loaned. So Chelsea are looking at this, thinking we can have Xavi Simons, but this probably means he's going to be seen as Cole Palmer's backup for a number 10. Now, I don't want to jump the gun here, but if there was any kind of hold-up for Xavi Simons, it might be due to where am I going to play and what do you actually see as my role next season? Because if Chelsea do go for Garnacho, having already spent 50 million plus on Jamie Gittins, what would the point of Xavi Simons be coming in for as a left winger? So I think the best place to illustrate whether or not Garnacho is needed at Chelsea is to do this. If we decide that we're going to put Garnacho as an option on that left wing position, which is probably where he would want to play, that means Tyreek George is definitely going. So we'll put a red dot next to his name. So there you've got Simons, Gittins and Garnacho. Then in the number 10 position, you could have Palmer, Simons, Pedro could also have Esteval. And then also on the right wing, Neto, Esteval, Simons, Palmer could also play there too. So every time I go back to this graphic and every time I think about what the Chelsea actually need, I can't help but look and think that Xavi Simons would, could and should be starting on the left-hand side in a 4-2-3-1 for Chelsea, which I think will be still one of the most used formations, even if obviously it looks like a 3-2 in the build-up from defence. So Garnacho here, he would probably replace Tyreek George. I think if it was going to be Garnacho signing, Tyreek George will definitely be going on loan, which is what we have seen here from Ben Jacobs. Xavi Simons and Alejandro Garnacho, if we're going to do this, all right, I want to put this to bed once and for all, because it's perfectly fine in football to look at the business your club are doing and think, I like that player, I'm not sure I agree with that player. But if Chelsea, which we have been incredibly persistent here, with wanting Alejandro Garnacho this summer, if Chelsea go out there and buy him, winning the Conference League, getting top 4 and winning the World Cup has given me extra trust that I'm not going to just keep sitting here and bashing the player just because I didn't want him signed. If Chelsea right now think that Garnacho is going to improve this team, going to give Maresca more options and is going to help us win the league, then I will back that. Until I actually see what has made Garnacho so undesirable to Chelsea right now, until I actually see what has made that happen in the first place whilst he's at Chelsea, then I think we should all support him. We can all say that we don't want the club to sign him, and maybe we are very worried that he does bring that off-field temperament to Chelsea Football Club. I'm concerned about it, and that's why I don't want to sign him, because I think right now the most important thing that we have got in this Chelsea squad is a togetherness that can win you a Premier League. When you get that taste of winning trophies, which we've done over the course of the last 2 months, end of May, June and July, we now know what being winners feels like. And I don't think these young Chelsea players are going to take those 2 wins and be like, yeah, we're going to rest on our laurels. We're going to sit back here. We don't need to go for it this season. All of the impetus right now with the business that we're doing is to make us competitive to win the Premier League. And that's what we got to be aiming for. So if Garnacho is going to come into Chelsea and start doing all of this because Xavi, Simons, all these guys that you can see on the screen here are ahead of him, Jamie Gitten's been bought in for mega bucks as well, mate. If Garnacho isn't playing, then he's got to give 110% to make sure he's doing everything to get in that team so that when his opportunity arises, he's ready for it. And this is what I want to see from this entire Chelsea squad this season. If all of these players can all be fighting towards the collective goal of winning the league and trusting that their moments will come because we're setting standards. This is all about standards. And that is why I'm nervous about Garnacho, because what are his standards? He gives it a lot of talk, but can he walk the walk? At Manchester United, a club that has been in disarray, it's kind of just been the one of many. Garnacho, problematic. Lots of players at that football club, problematic. Nowhere near good enough for Manchester United. So when Garnacho comes to a team that have actually got players that are on a level significantly more than Manchester United, if that starts to scare him and be like, oh, I don't know about this, get out, mate. But I'm not going to sit here if we do sign Garnacho and be like, oh, I didn't want him, I don't support that, I'm not going to back him. Absolutely. If Garnacho signs for Chelsea, clean slate, go out there, show the world what you can do. And if he can become 5 times the player he was at Man United and it's at Chelsea, then congratulations. You'll have fans singing your name, mate. But until then, people have got the right to be nervous. People have got the right to not think it's the right move. But at this point in time, I just hope that both Garnacho, the SDs, the sporting directors and the manager can get the best out of him and prove me wrong because they've been doing it a lot recently. But anyway, I want to bring up this graphic again here because it's actually crazy when we think and talk about Nicholas Jackson, which we're going to do in a moment, because the latest on Nicholas Jackson is that there is movement from Newcastle and Manchester United. Not to the point where they've submitted a bid or anything just yet, but both Man United and Newcastle are still very attentive to Nicholas Jackson's situation. So the man that I've got the number 9 next to here is Liam Delap. And I'm just going to show you on the screen next to me, or I'm going to speak over it and you guys can watch. This is Liam Delap practicing his shooting during private training sessions this summer. When I see this guy, I know that I don't even know who the goalkeeper is. It might just be his mate who brings him his flipping Powerades when he needs a drink. I don't know who it is. But Liam Delap's shooting, when you take a look at just that raw striking ability of a football, this guy's also gone under the radar. And when we're talking about Chelsea players that we're excited to see this season, Liam Delap, the only reason we're not all talking about him all the time right now is because of the immediate impact that this man, Joao Pedro, had as soon as he came in at Chelsea to score 2 in a semi-final and score in a final. Chelsea fans have got all the right in the world to be talking about Joao Pedro and getting very excited. But Liam Delap, I'm telling you now, man, this guy is going to be absolutely brilliant at Chelsea. And again, I also want to show you guys in the top right corner, we have got Dastan Satpayev, who just keeps on crushing it in Kazakhstan. But right now, I'm just getting excited about this team. I'm getting excited about this squad. And I keep looking at the top as well, Quenda. What will happen when this happens? Giovanni Quenda coming in then as well? Or is Quenda going to be on that right-hand side? Who would be the person to miss out there? Maybe it's Pedro Neto. Or maybe if we're looking at this as the 26-27 squad depth that Chelsea have got with 9 potential options basically playing in the left wing, right wing position, I think this year everybody has got to be levels above what they were last season. Otherwise, there is not enough space in this squad. And Giovanni Quenda is coming in, and I don't see him being another one on top of the already inflated numbers potentially. So I think this season, there are certain players that might be playing for their long-term futures at Chelsea. But let's see what happens. Xavi, Simons to Chelsea. The club are in advanced talks right now. And as much as I don't like all of this new here we go ometer stuff, I hate the fact that it's gone from here we go was like, okay, great. When Fabrizio says that, we think that the deal is basically done. Now we have got 70% chances for Xavi Simons, 80% chances for Jorrel Hato. I'm not a fan of this, man, but it is what it is. So at the moment, Jorrel Hato to Chelsea is getting close. Xavi Simons to Chelsea, the club are in deep negotiations. Simons wants to come to Chelsea. Chelsea want him, and it's about that fee with Leipzig. Nicholas Jackson to Newcastle or Manchester United. And we finish with the latest on Joao Felix. Joao Felix has completed his move to Al Nassr on a 2-year contract. Felix has already participated in his first training session. Only the club announcement remains. So Joao Felix has left Chelsea. And I wish him all the best for his time in Saudi Arabia, but his time at Chelsea is now done. Going to wrap up this morning Chelsea news video for you lot. Later on today, there will definitely be another video and another live stream. Yesterday, it's all just been moving a bit quiet, so I'm not going to force an extra video out, but I'll definitely be going live more often for you guys. I'm going live every day at the moment, just to keep an eye on what you guys are saying too. I want to keep the chat going when it comes to Chelsea transfer news, and looking at stuff like this, it's always fun to look at the depth in the squad, see where we're going to last and see where we're going to stay going into the season. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do smack a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you guys in a few hours. Come on, you Blues.